Today we're going to do some chicken parmesan, right? This is for Andrea, so I hope that you like this recipe. I'm going to make a little bit of a twist on the chicken parmesan today, so we're going to add a little bit of flavor to it. But we're going to get going. Secret ingredient I'm putting on the chicken parmesan is some grainy Dijon mustard. We're going to put that on the actual chicken breasts after we pounded them. All right, a little bit of saran wrap here. And then what we're going to do is put the chicken breast right on the saran wrap. We're going to pound it nice and thick. So, let's give my hand a quick rest. And then what we're going to do is put another piece on top. Just like this. Okay. And do a little pound. Now our knives are fantastic. You always hear me talking about our parts because I love them. And the back of the knife has a nice little mallet in the back here. And I use that for tenderizing the meat. Now, when you want to tenderize the chicken, or any kind of meat, you don't want to beat the heck out of it, because you're going to tear the meat. So just gently hit it. The back of the blades have a good weight to them. They're nice and solid. They do a great job in a quick pound. Okay? So we're going to pound out the chicken. Let's give it a quick pounding. We'll also tenderize the meat, which is a little more important, let's say if it was a veal or a pork scallop. But what we're going to do is give it a slight pounding. We're going to bread it. Okay? Now, we're going to do two different types of chicken parmesan today. We're going to do one with a little bit of oil in the pan to crisp up the breading. And we're also going to do one with no grease. So we're going to do greaseless chicken parmesan today as well. Alright, so the other two breasts, we're going to pound them. Just gently give them a beating. A gentle beating. And not too hard because you don't want to break the meat. Alright, that's nice and good. You also want to make sure when you pound them, they kind of pound at generally the same thickness, so they'll take about the same amount of time to cook. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of cracked sea salt on here, and a little bit of seasoning on the chicken, and some cracked black. We're going to put a little bit of Dijon mustard on here as well. We season the meats nicely. Okay, a little bit of that. Okay. Alright, some grainy Dijon mustard. I'm not going to put too much on here because it's going to become a little bit, it'll kind of affect the breading a little bit. I'm putting my chicken spoon into the mustard here because I'm going to finish this can of mustard. Otherwise, what I would be doing is scooping the mustard out and putting it on, not putting my spoon into the jar here. But it's pretty much finished the mustard. So, and then a little bit like this. I find the grainy mustard gives a little bit of a zing. Alright, a little bit extra on this one here. Just on one side, we'll put this mustard, and then we're going to bread it. Alright, I got a bit of breadcrumbs. I'm going to put in one bowl here. They're enough to do all 4 chicken breasts. In the breadcrumbs, I'm also going to put in the Parmesan cheese. So we have, this is nice ground up Parmesan cheese, nicely grated. I'm going to put it in there, about half breadcrumbs, about a third cheese. Okay? And then we're going to put some fresh thyme that we chopped up earlier, some thyme into this mixture as well. So we got some lovely fresh thyme in there, Parmesan cheese, a little bit of seasoning. I'm not going to put any salt or pepper into this because we have salt on the chicken. We're going to season up with a bit of sauce afterwards with the pasta. So this is looking good. So this one here, I'm going to put in here the breadcrumbs, the Parmesan cheese. Next, I'm going to put in a bit of flour, and the next one's going to be a bit of milk. Fresh milk and then flour. Flour, all-purpose flour, and just grab a bit of milk. Milk into this last one here. I'm not using an egg wash. I'm just going to use a bit of milk, and we're going to get this on the go. I'm going to use the two-handed method. The two-handed method when breading is you take one hand, it's going to go on the flour first. And we're going to make sure you get a good coating of flour on this, alright? What we're going to do is put the flour on here, especially with that Dijon mustard. You don't want that to, if you have too much Dijon mustard, it's going to peel off. So I've got the flour into the milk, okay? Now the two-handed method, whoops, I'm going to part a little bit up here. At this point you switch hands, put this into the breading, and now we switch hands. If you do the same thing all the way through, you get those big bubbly fingers full of breading. Okay? So we're going to nicely bread this. I can see the cheese in there. Alright, so what we're going to do here is flip this around into this Parmesan cheese. And we're going to bread all 4 of these, and then we're going to start to fry them up nice and young. Now with the pan with the oil, it's actually a matter of just getting the oil hot. So I'm going to put the oil into this pan here. we're going to start cooking this one up here. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil in there. We're going to put in a couple of our chicken breasts. I'm just going to move the oil around the pan. You can see how the oil kind of looks a little bit runny. That's a good sign that you have the right temperature, right? Good temperature. Right in there, sizzling nicely. A little bit of a shake so it doesn't stick. And this one too, get that right in there. Okay, now it's getting nice and hot for the second batch. And put a little bit of olive oil in there. Olive oil is getting nice and hot. You can see it moving around. We don't want the oil to burn. I'm going to put the first one right in there, sizzling away nicely. As we're cooking here, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a release. Just release it off a little bit here. Same with this one here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to cook one in the frying pan in the back here with no oil. So I always use oil to crisp up the breading a little bit. But I'm just going to wait till that pan gets hot. Let's see if it's hot enough yet. Just starting to bead. So what I'm going to do, there's no water in the pan's dry, the water's beading nicely, and what we're going to do here is throw this right into a dry pan, okay? And these ones here, I'm going to ready to flip these, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to flip this one right over here, nicely brown, another one here, nicely, oh, the bread came off there. And this last one here, we're going to give it a flip as well. Looking good. Alright, we'll give it another 5 minutes, and these are good. Good to go. Alright. And that's the way we like to do it. Turning on it, we can give it a flip. It comes out really, really white, but it's cooking nicely. And the other ones here are pretty much done. Alright, another minute or so. These ones are nicely cooked. It's looking good. So I'm going to get these right out of the pan. Okay. Nicely brown. And then what I'm going to do in the pan, I'm going to make a quick sauce. Now I have a little bit of Italian herbs I'm going to throw into here. I'm going to deglaze the pan with a little bit of red wine. Okay. I'm going to throw this nice and hot in it. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of garlic into that. Look at the herbs, the garlic, and the reduction of the red wine. I'm going to put in a quarter of sun-dried tomato pesto. Love that pesto, okay? As we just love that stuff. So now we're going to get that mixed up and a little bit of tomato sauce. So the sauce is now reduced here. Have a look here. And I'm going to flip this over. It's cooking nicely there. Turn that one down just a little bit on the back. The low heat. This one over here is pretty much cooked. Another minute. And here I'm going to add a little bit of tomato sauce as well. Okay. And this is a really quick tomato sauce. So red wine tomato sauce, nice and thick. Reduce that wine by half because the pan was so hot. Okay, there you go like that. Heat that up. I have a little bit of cooked fettuccine, which I cooked earlier. I'm going to put that into the pan. Make that nice and hot. We're going to crank that up and we're good to serve. Last one here is cooked nicely. I'm going to get this right out of the pan as well. Our sauce is cooking here. Nice and rich tomato sauce with the rich tomato pasta I'm making here. Very nice and rich with the red wine. I like that. Okay. And we're good to go here. Now this last one is just about done right in here. Let that cook a little bit longer and that's good to go. It's almost cooked. Without the oil, it does come out quite dry. I do prefer to have it cooked with the oil. I think it's much nicer, crisps up. But if you want to be a little more health conscious, look at that, it's cooked. It's good to go. Nicely, it doesn't brown up as much, but it's still nicely cooked and it's done. Alright, well let's serve it all up and we're good to go. What are you going to do? When you're plating up your food, you have guests coming over. And you want the food to look like it's coming out of a restaurant. One of the keys to having food looking nice is to bring the food up to make it not look flat, alright? Now what I'm going to do with my fettuccine here, I'm going to take with the fettuccine, you put it on the plate and you just give it a twist and it'll hold a lot more height. Right? Give it a bit of a twist, hold more height. So this is the fettuccine we just made. Give it a twist, hold more height. Okay? Like this. A little sauce out of here. Okay? And we're going to sprinkle a little more Parmesan cheese onto the pasta here. Okay? Like this. Now this is our chicken breast with no oil. And this is our chicken breast with some oil. Okay. Put a little bit more cheese on top. Yeah, like that. Fresh herbs just to make it look nice and fancy. And there you have it. Chicken Parmesan. And a little bit of cracked black. And that's chicken Parmesan for Andrea.